Welcome to Blue Dragon Universe. This is the Excel Advanced course, and today we are going to cover a lot of very beautiful and important charts, and we are going to use formulas and whatnot to create beautiful charts like the one you can see in the screen, and how different concepts can be blended together to create charts. Like chart is a section of Excel that is not that formula driven, though we still have a formula. Like if you click here, you would be able to see a formula called series, right? We have to understand about this formula, how series works and everything, and how we can use this to kind to our advantage, and how different sort of charts we can create and impress others, right? Overall, the objective of this course is simple. If someone asks in an interview how much you give yourself, you can give yourself 9 out of 10, 10 being the highest, and you can do that with a lot of confidence. Right, so without further ado, let us start with the course. Back to the next section, and here we are going to learn how to draw charts like this. And I think this is very important to kind of explain data, right? This is a visual representation of data. So you can see there is certain age group, and there is a comparison between male and female. Just to kind of show the female data in a different, like in this format, like in as a comparative form, I put negative sign here, right? And to show the male data in the opposite format, like in the opposite direction, I have not put any negative sign. So that is the first thing that you need to do and understand, right? And obviously I've checked that this is 100%, right? And this is the age group. So it can be like it can be any compatibility. It can be product study, etc., customer study, etc. So this is how I want the graph to look like. Now how can I draw this graph, right? So first of all, let me maybe come here so that I can draw the graph here, and I'm going to choose this, right? And after choosing this, the entire data, I'm going to go to the chart, right? So here, what is the type of chart that I'm going to choose? I'm going to choose bar chart, right? Because I have to create something like that. So bar chart, and in the bar chart, this is the type of, now obviously this is quite different from how you are seeing the other chart, right? The chart that you can already see in the screen, but this is the basis or the backbone of that. You can now visualize this, right? So this is what I have used because I want to show that comparison, right? And I don't want to show this, right? I want to show this comparison. So or this is the, so you have to first, you have to to create such chart, you have to visualize how you want to show the data, right? So a creative thing is very important, like how creative you are, and how do you want to represent data, that is also very important, right? Like I'm not that a creative person, but someone, I usually have seen that females are very creative. So by that logic, probably they would be much better in creating charts. Anyways, so I wanted to change this chart title. Maybe here I have not done that, but suppose I want this to be male versus female, so I'm going to write this here, male versus female, and female. So, and you probably already would understand how can I do that. So what, I select this text box, I press an equal to, which you can see here, and I'm going to choose this, right? So it will automatically be changed to male, female. Whatever we put here, the value would automatically change. Now here you can see, like if I compare this, this is, a 50, 60, 50, 40, 20 in this way. And this is in this way. So when I was initially creating that, it was negative, right? But then I was trying to see if I can change it, convert it, and then I Google and I got the data. So I think whatever you are trying to do in Excel, probably someone has already done that, and that is where it is important that you need to visualize what you want to do, but then how you can do that, probably you can Google and find it out, like I did for this, because otherwise I cannot remember everything, right? So it is not maybe an exam of remembering things and producing those things. It is how you visualize and what are the resources you have available to you, so that you can create the the picture in the format you want, right? So talking about format, I have selected the horizontal axis, right? And now I'm going to click on format axis, right? So that when I want to change this -40, -30, -20 into something positive, so for that obviously you need to go to the levels, because sorry, for that you need to go to the numbers, because numbers would show you this, right? And here you can see that format code is written as 0%. So I found out that if you put semicolon 0%, right, and then semicolon 0%, so basically it shows 0% means shows it shows only one side, right? Now the moment you convert this into 0%, 0%, it shows all three sides. Like if you can draw 3D graph as well, right, and that all the 3D will be converted into 0%. It will not be negative, right? So I'm going to press on this add button. So now you can see this has changed, like it is like 40, 50 in that way. It has kind of changed, right? Now the second thing that I wanted to do is I want to format this axis, right? And one thing I would state that before 2016 or 2013, I believe. Before that, manipulating charts in Excel was much easier. I think this options that you see right now, those are much, what can I say, much easier to understand. But now after 2013, they have brought forth so many, kind of options and data and everything else that it has become more complex. Right, so I don't agree or like how the charts have become more complicated over the years for Excel, but that is how it is, right? So now here in this case I've selected this, and I'm going to go to the form. So this is the format axis. Because I've selected this, you can already see the format axis is highlighted because earlier I've done that. Now here I need to shift this, because here you can see this is placed here, so I don't want the axis to be placed next to the data, right? So I think that can be done. Now, usually I don't remember where I usually check where we can do that, right? So I don't remember where it is, but because every time you cannot remember anything, right? Everything, right? So it is better that you can kind of I mean, have the habit of changing things, right? So I'm in the format axis. Then I think there will be an option that would be probably present in level option. Let me check the level interval between the ticks. Yeah, so here you can see the level is given next to axis, and I don't want it to be placed next to axis. So I want to use low maybe. Yeah, so low is shifting it here, right? Now, before using this, I did not know whether I choose low or high, right? But the moment I choose, the reason I chose low is because of my intuitive understanding that this data is kind of will be shifted towards the lower side, right? So if I do this, and the lower side in this case would be, because these are negative, so in this case the lower side will be here and the data will be shifted here. Had I chose on high, right, so data has shifted. Like if I cross this, you can see the data has shifted to the higher side of this data, right, of this series. So that is where I mean, that is the logic that I've used. I'm just going to do Control Z so that it comes back to the right side, right? Now here obviously you can see that there is what I wanted is, kind of these are like superimposed, right? There is no gap between that, and for that there is overlap and gap width. So format data series, right clicked on that, format data series, and here you can see there is, then overlap is 0. I want the overlap to be 100%, right? So that would be set to 100%. And the gap height, I want that to be 0, right? So I don't want any gap, and I want the series to overlap each other, right? So now you can see like the data is kind of looking like this. It's slightly different, right? Because we need to put the border as well. So I'm going to the border right now. I don't remember where it is. Now I just chose this series, and here I came to this button, right, fill and line. So that is why I mentioned that the Excel charting has become slightly more difficult, is because of you do not see this symbol and understand what to do, right? You have to kind of do some educated guess, like I did in the previous case, low and high, right? So here I wanted to use gradient line, right, so that some degree of visibility would be there. I can also use a solid line, right? And in that case, so let me go back. Sorry, I think, yeah, so that was not selected, that is why. So border, I can choose a solid line, I can choose different variety, but I'm just choosing a gradient line, right? So gradient line will show some border, but it will not be that, kind of different. And similarly here also I'm going to do the same. So here I'm going to choose the border and I'm going to choose the gradient line, right? So you can change this like gradient stops, angle, direction, all of these things you can play with this, right? But I think this is sufficient. So I did not exactly replicated that, right? But here, I kind of mentioned, or we are able to understand what has been done. And then I don't want the legend because I have already created that. So this is how the chart kind of looks like. You can also, this vertical lines, you can also remove that so that, it gives a better texture. You can change the color, obviously, right? You can change this to pink or you can change this to blue, but that is not the purpose, right? And these are text box that I've created, like I've created this male and female. So you can also create this and put it here. But I mean, the logic here should be clear. This is how you can create such comparative chart. Now, see, this is very good looking chart, right? You know that these are, okay, this is, or this should be female versus male because, this side should be female. So let me just convert this into female versus male, right? So female, and that is the beauty of it. You do not have to change anything. You just go to the cell and change that, right? And now it is female versus male. So this side shows the female, this side shows the male. Or you can put a text box right here. We can insert a text box and put male and female. Let me also do that. So I am putting a text box here, right? And here I am choosing female. Sorry, this is not how you should do it. You need to select the text box, right? Select the text box and then I'm going to write female. Okay, so I can see the female. Similarly, I need to insert another text box, right? And that I'm going to put here, right? And once again, I need to select. Okay, sorry, I just missed the text box. So here I'm going to choose the male, and here I'm going to write equal to male. Sorry, in this case male, and now you can see the male, right? And now you can format this, right? So this is the format button. You can see it is highlighted, right? You can change the color, and there are so many things, right? You can do, for example, right? So here you can see this is color. I don't want to get into, I mean, you probably already understand how can we change the color of the text box, right? So you can come here, you can highlight, right? You can clear it. So there are multiple things that you can do here with the text box, right? So here I've just put the color. Maybe for the female I can show you the color and then that's it, right? So coming back and right click, I've just right clicked on the box and the fill is, in this case it should be blue, right? Yeah, this is I think this is the blue. So if I put this, then it shows that, yeah, this is the female. Then probably I need to change the color because that blue and black is not that, proper color, right? So maybe I need to choose here white. White is not, I probably have not selected that. So let me see this. It is not changing because we have choose this, right? This is equal to the formula, so here it will not change. Then we have to manually write female here, right? So instead of doing this, if we just write, female here, so that would probably work better in this case. Some problem is going on there. Okay. No matter what I press, it is showing me some issue. So let me remove this. Okay. And yeah. So now if I just select this and write female here and select this again, convert this into white, I think it is more better and visible, right? And I think you can then shorten this. And these are, carpenter's job. This is what I call carpenter's jobs. Anyone can do this. So this is how I've created the chart, right? So you can see that earlier I've created the chart, then I, kind of changed it, and then I tried to create another method, another way I can do that. So this is, I don't remember how I created this chart, right? But by seeing this chart, I should be able to kind of understand what is going on and how we can create that, right? Then you can write age group here as well, right? So you can add a text box, kind of rotate it and write age group. So these are things that you can do. My purpose was to kind of make you think how you can create chart like this, right? So let us get on with the next section. To the next section, and here we are going to determine something which we call Gantt chart or the project schedule, right? And this chart is very tricky to determine. And when I was working in, like when I still work in Actuary, but in Actuary, once I have to create something like this for VNB. People who are familiar with valuation in Actuary, they would know what is VNB or value of new business, where I have to create a chart like this, some sort of similar chart, right? But it's not that exactly similar. So here what we represent is project schedule. So it has different dates and it has different, maybe entries for that project, and that would take some time. So we would like to create some chart like this, right? So the first thing that we are going to do is, here we are going to select this, right, the entire thing. And obviously, this is a, so from just by seeing this, you should identify, okay, this should be a bar chart, right? So if I go here, and here you can see this is a this is the type of chart that we have drawn, right? And obviously we have to kind of work on that, right? So let us go to the all chart and bar chart, right? So this is the bar chart that I want, which is stacked bar, right? So this is the clustered bar. I don't want this because this is kind of similar, right? Always check what are the different types of bar chart that you can kind of create. So this is a clustered bar chart, and here you can, this is the 3D, this is a 3D bar, and this is the duration one, right? So I think I need this, right? And always keep on checking everything, right? So this is also something that is there, and this is the stacked bar, right? So if you remember, see this is how I want the chart to look, right? Because I want the chart, the first entry should be like this. I mean, it's just moving here and there. This is the chart I want, because this represents the dates, right? And then it's just very difficult to explain in this manner. But the remaining, the we what we want is the red portion. We do not want the blue portion, right? And if we can do that, then we will be able to see a chart like this, right? So always try to see what are the charts. And here initially when I was seeing this, right, this one, so it might occur to you that this is the chart I want, but this just shows that which activity requires more time. It does not show that one activity starts after another activity and then which requires the time, for which we need this sort of chart, which is the clustered chart, right? So I'm going to create this, right? And maybe I can put this slightly down. This is a big chart. So yeah, so this is how it is, right? Now I don't need this legend because it can confuse everyone, right? So that is how I have just deleted the legend, right? Now select the category, which is this is the vertical axis. And you have already seen me doing this format axis. Everything we do, kind of goes here, right? So now here, if you see, and if we go to the vertical axis, right? So then we need to specify the categories in reverse order. Like you can see this planning meeting I want at the top, right? Like how it is. Yeah, planning meeting and develop questionnaire, that we need to kind of change, right? So of course I don't remember where it is, but usually in number category I can see this category. So maybe this can this is not work. This is the category is the general, or like what is the font, right? So let me check this for number, and here the level position is next to axis. We have seen such entries before, but that is not going to work. Here I can see one thing, which is axis position categories in reverse order, right? So let me check this, and here this is what I wanted, right? So categories would be in reverse order. So whatever was coming in, after just drawing the chart, I saw that the category needs to be reversed, right? So I reverse the category, right? Then I need to select the start data series and display it, the format series. So basically start date series is, that is where I wanted to remove this blue color, right? So I just selected this and display the format data series. right? So I can right click on this and format data series. So this is what I obtained, right? So right click on, just select the blue portion of the chart and right click on that, and then you will go to the the format data series. Then we need to kind of go to the you can see this gap white and depth white. So this we can also play with this, but what I wanted to do here is I want to hide the the lines, right? So in this case, uh, I just wanted to check. I just wanted to go to the fill section, right? And I want to check no fill. So what it does is it removes the filling, right? So it is just now the red portion in which we are actually interested in, right? And then we can also change the the gap white and because here you can see this is slightly more merge, right? So we can go there and change it. So the depth series overlap, there is something called series overlap which we have seen before. It's right now I'm not able to see that. Maybe I can click on this, right? So it is absolutely normal that you are not able to see something, right? And you forgot something, right? So it is absolutely normal. That is why I just wanted to keep this video as raw as possible, because this same thing happens with me as well, right? It's not that I'm any different. uh, Maybe we can do that, that formatting we can do that later, because once again that is a carpenter's job. So now we want to display the format axis. So here, this one, right? This one, I don't want that section to be at the top, right? So I want that section to be at the bottom, right? So I think I just missed it. And as I mentioned, the the chart is something that has gotten difficult in in Excel, because it is earlier the chart was much easy to kind of handle. So now here we have to select which one works. So it is definitely I don't want it next to axis. Let me check high. Yeah, so high is kind of working, and I can increase the length so that now it appears much better, right? I can call this project schedule. So I can give this that same name, project schedule. Okay, and this would, yeah, so this would mean that, yeah, this is what is the data that I'm currently looking into. Now I need to remove this. See, this entries are kind of uh, like I want the entry to start from here, then my I can say, yeah, somehow my chart is kind of done, right? I need my entries to start from this area, right? So for that, this is these are the, I need to change the x-axis, right? Because all these dates that are present, I don't need those date, right? And here, so I can come to this, and axis stores, not axis, Excel stored the date in form of what can I say, in numbers, right? So we have to figure out what numbers has been used here, right? So I did this by trial and error. So if I just choose this, right, or maybe I choose this, the blank one, and go to format data axis, format data series. Okay, so let me first do that series. So what I am doing here is whatever I have carpenter's job I have done, I want to replicate that. Series overlap 100 and gap white is 50, right? So let me do the same thing here. So I'm going to select this, and it's difficult to select that, sorry. So yeah, right click. Something is wrong here. Let me go back. It should be format series, right? So here it is coming at format walls for some reason. I'm not able to figure out what is. Let me first let us format the axis, right? So here you can see the minimum is coming out to be 41340, and I obviously do not want that minimum. Maybe I want this as 500. I don't know. I'm just kind of so 500 will not work definitely, right? Maybe I want this to be 400, right? So I don't, yeah, so 400 is kind of looking to work, right? Let me check 380. So this is how you have to because you know that whatever is the minimum entry, that need to change a bit, right? So 380 is bit too much. Maybe let me just put 390. So I think 400 was the perfect one, right? So I don't remember what I put earlier, right? So this is how I can do that. So it is 400, and you can see, this chart is almost replicated, right? You can see that this is how it is. It's if I just drag it and make it bigger, this is exactly how it is, right? So this is some small red zone here, and then in this way, right? So here you can, like, if you want, you can come to this chart and see what is the exact date I have used. So if I kind of select the x-axis in this case and format axis. So here I have chosen 41,397 and 41,480, right? So let us do the same thing here. 41,000, 41,397, and 480 is, I think, perfect, right? So 397 is good, right? So if I choose that, then this would be similar, right? You can see that. So here what I've removed is I've removed the minimum entry. It is starting from 3/5/2013 and continuing in that way, right? So you can also change the pattern of this. Here you can see 5 and 3, 5 and 10, but I think more bet this one I've deliberately kept so that I can use this, because this is also way you can represent the data, right? But I think this is much better, right? So here you can go to format x-axis, and you can go to the levels and sorry, numbers, I believe. And here you can change the format code, right? You can maybe keep it as, like in this case, our case, it was ddmm, right? So if you want to do that, then here you can see this is coming in this format, right? So you can play with the format code. I don't think that's important. And I think the only thing that we have missed till now is going to the format data series and seeing the series overlap and the gap white. I'm not able to replicate that. So let me try that once again, right? So going to format here, now I can see that format data series, and I think, I don't remember it now, I think it was 150, if I'm correct, right? I may be incorrect as well, right? So yeah, so this is looking bit more like this, right? So if you see this, I think this is looking more bit, and this is because I used a 3D chart, so it is slightly looking slightly better. Now you can change the color and everything, but I think you get the point, right? So how I wanted to create something like this, it is not a normal bar chart, right? And that is why we are covering this. Not everyone can create that, so that is why it is not normal bar chart. It is a clustered bar chart, right? Because we wanted this interval, right? This interval, like it is ending here, and from there it is starting from, then there is some gap, and then it is starting here, but this one is starting at the same time, this one is also starting at the same time, it is extending beyond this. So this is how project schedule look like, and finally it is stopping here, right? It is ending here, and all of this is kind of created, right? So I hope you get the point, and this is how you can play with this, right? You have to play with the axis, you have to play with the data, you can play with the width, right? And this is how you can create a beautiful chart, meaningful chart, not beautiful. Beautiful should not be your target. It should be a meaningful chart, right? And here, if you send this to anyone, anyone would be able to understand, yeah, this is how it works, right? I don't like this vertical line. You can try to remove the vertical lines as well, right? Like this one, right? But in this case, I don't want that, right? So there are n number of ways you can do that, right? So I think this chart is looking perfect right now. Okay, so that's it. See you in the next section. To the next section for the charting chapter, and this is what I call conditional colors. And this is very interesting way to kind of draw this diagram. So these are monthly data, and sometime we would like to present the data in that manner. So the monthly data is Jan to December, right? And these are the data. Maybe it can be sales figure or whatever it is. Now I have categorized that into several classes. Like if it is less than zero, so here you can see we have put the value here. These are the upper limit, right? So so if this is followed everywhere. So if this is less than zero, then you put the value there. So basically b4, in this case this one, if or this one, if b4 is less than this number, right, which is free, which is an absolute reference, then put b4, otherwise put nothing, right? So that is what we have got here. Similarly for this one, we have used and. So if this is less than equal to this 33, right, and if it is greater than equal to this, right, so then you use the be whatever is present. Otherwise, you put blank, right? So this is how we have done that, and then this similar condition. So if you understand the formula, this too, the remaining would be easier to understand, right? So that is how we have kind of done this, and this is the data. So basically, this data has been categorized into four categories, right? For four groups. So then we have drawn the chart. If you just go to select data, so you can see these are the this is the zone that we have chosen. We have chosen this entire zone month, and then we have not chosen this data, right? Because we have already categorized into these four groups. So I've chosen this and I've chosen that, right? And then after, so you can choose this by doing control, right? Something like this, like you choose this and then you press control, right? And you will be able to select that. So I think it is easy for you to understand, right? Then this chart is very simple to draw. If you just select it in that manner, automatically you'll see this is less than zero. So this would become the series, right? And this would be the horizontal category, which is what you can see here. And then depending on like the color, you can put on your own, right? So whatever color you feel that would be good. So I have just shown the color to, so this is, if this is slightly above zero, then we have used this color, which is, I can't name this color. It's just slightly brownish to me, right? Orange or brownish to me. If it is less than zero, then these are negative, and if it is beyond a particular level, right? Maybe you can choose that if it is say beyond 50, right? So then that would be, or beyond 60, then that would be strong green, right? So that is how I have done the coloring, right? So obviously this chart needs limited number of data in the x-axis, but it looks very, visually it looks very good. And this is just a, kind of the, this is the legend, right? You can keep that, you can remove that, does not matter. But I mean, automatically this, depending on what chart you have kind of chosen, this legend will be here. And it can also be here, but you can bring it here and kind of work on that, right? So I think this is very simple to understand, not a difficult chart, but how we can do the data, and how can, maybe how we can change the coloring. That is what is probably important. So data part is, I think, is not that difficult once you have categorized the data. Then remaining things, just you can go to the here you can change the color here as well. So for example, you want to change the color like this, right? So that is why I mentioned number of data here has to be kind of uh, limited, because you have to do this manually, right? So if there is too much of data, then this chart would not work. However, if there is limited data in the x-axis, like a year or so, then you can draw this sort of chart. Also, this is also looking like a waterfall or normal distribution, whatever you want to call it. But I think this is like, you get the data, then you categorize into multiple components, then you change the color accordingly, and then yeah, that's how it is, right? So I think this is a simple, sweet conditional colors. Depending on whatever charts you have used, you are kind of creating this, right? Okay, moving on to the next section. Sorry, one thing I forgot to mention in this section is probably the most important thing actually. So here we have chosen column chart, right? So this is the chart. Like once you kind of select a chart, like if you have visualized this, then you know that yeah, this is the chart that I'm going to draw, and then I have changed the color as I mentioned. And also if you choose something like this, right, you can see that there is a, the I have made this, like it was earlier, it was very thin. The chart that you just saw on the screen, it was very thin. So what I need to play with is the series overlap and the gap width, right? So I've made the gap width 0 and series overlap 84%. So I mean, there is no fixed criteria why it is 84% and on 100%, because I felt that this is looking good, right? So that is why I have made that. Otherwise it will look bit like it will like some lines being drawn, rather than giving this histogram sort of picture, right? So the column chart, and always play with the series overlap and gap width, right? So that will help you to kind of create graphs like how you want to, right? So that's it. I think there is nothing much left in this.